Echolocation, like bats, already possible. Welcome back. I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Quantum Humans series. Most people believe that vision ends with the eyes, that once sight is gone, perception is diminished, replaced by guesswork, canes, or caution. But that belief is wrong. There's a growing body of research, lived experience, and emerging technology proving that human beings can develop echolocation, the ability to see the world using sound, just like bats and dolphins. In this episode, we explore how blind individuals are mastering echolocation, how science is now enhancing it with technology, and what it means for the future of multisensory perception. Let's start with the story of Daniel Kish, a blind man who climbs mountains, rides bicycles, and hikes alone, all by using a technique called flash sonar. By emitting tongue clicks and interpreting the echoes that bounce off nearby objects, Daniel creates a mental map of his environment. Walls, doorways, trees, moving vehicles, all appear in his mind as spatial sound images. He's not guessing, he's navigating. His brain has adapted to convert acoustic feedback into three-dimensional awareness. Functional MRI scans of Daniel's brain show that the visual cortex, the part usually reserved for sight, is being repurposed to process sound echoes. In other words, he's seeing with his ears. Daniel isn't unique. Hundreds of blind individuals are now being trained in echolocation. Courses across the US, UK, and Germany are teaching the technique, and in most cases, results appear within weeks. The principle is simple. By generating a brief, sharp sound, like a tongue click or tapping, and listening closely for how that sound reflects off surfaces, people can detect size, shape, distance, and even texture. Hard surfaces return sharp echoes. Soft materials absorb sound. Narrow spaces create compressed reverberations. It's not just useful, it's intuitive. But now, technology is taking it further. Researchers at the University of Chicago are developing wearable echolocation enhancers, devices that emit high-frequency pulses inaudible to humans and deliver processed feedback via haptic vibrations on the skin. Early prototypes, worn like a belt or chest harness, allow users to detect obstacles several meters away with increasing precision. The user learns to associate different vibration patterns with spatial layouts. With training, the device becomes a second skin, its inputs internalized like a new sense. In Japan, engineers are working on subdural sonar implants, tiny devices implanted near the auditory nerve or directly into the brain's auditory processing centers. These devices emit micropulses and receive returning sound waves, translating them into neural signals the brain can interpret without conscious effort. Initial tests on animals show promising results. The next step? Human volunteers who've already lost sight and are eager to explore sensory restoration without prosthetics. But let's step back and ask, why is this possible at all? The answer lies in neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to new stimuli or loss of function. When vision is lost, the brain doesn't shut down the visual cortex, it repurposes it. And when new data is fed through alternate channels, like sound or touch, the brain starts treating it like vision. This means echolocation isn't a magic trick or a rare talent. It's a dormant ability that can be activated under the right conditions. But what happens when we go beyond restoration and into enhancement? That's where quantum echolocation comes in. Some researchers believe that high-frequency sonar may interact with the environment at a finer scale than we previously realized. When sound waves are ultra-focused, like laser beams, they may reflect off fields, not just matter. Early lab experiments show that people trained in high-frequency sound navigation can sometimes detect changes in air density, temperature gradients, or even the presence of electronic devices. In one DARPA-funded study, participants using wearable echolocation rigs were able to detect hidden surveillance equipment in walls based solely on how the echo signature changed in the environment. If these findings hold, echolocation could become more than just navigation. It could be a tool for field awareness, a way of detecting energetic changes that standard senses ignore. Let's go even further. At the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, scientists are experimenting with neural sonar mapping, a method where pulses of sound are used not just for echo detection, but for generating real-time 3D models of the surrounding space. These models are fed into a brain-computer interface, which converts them into spatial light patterns, projected directly onto the user's visual cortex using optogenetic stimulation. Translation: sound becomes vision, literally. These experiments are in the early stages, but they confirm a radical truth. Human perception is programmable. With the right input and processing, the brain doesn't care where the signal comes from. If it arrives in a structured form, it can be mapped, interpreted, and eventually lived as reality. This opens the door to a future where super senses are modular. Want sonar? Install a module. Want magnetic awareness? Add a sensor. Want to feel the presence of people behind you? Train your skin to interpret thermal and acoustic shadows. This isn't theoretical. It's already happening in biohacker communities and experimental research labs, and it's forcing us to reevaluate what it means to be fully human. Are we defined by the 5 classical senses? Or are those just the default settings, configurations that evolution gave us for survival, not potential. Let's explore the implications. First, military. Soldiers with echolocation could navigate dark environments, detect enemy presence, and sense movement without revealing their position. They could be trained to read reflections off camouflaged objects or track targets behind thin walls. Second, emergency response. Firefighters could enter a smoke-filled building and see with sound, mapping rooms and obstacles without light. Rescuers could locate trapped victims by detecting breathing patterns through echo shifts. Third, civilian enhancement. Urban navigators, extreme sports athletes, spelunkers, and explorers could use wearable or implanted echolocation systems to gain spatial awareness far beyond what the eye provides, especially in low-visibility environments. But there are deeper possibilities. What if echolocation could be paired with emotional mapping? If the body radiates subtle biofield fluctuations when under stress, fear, or excitement, and those affect air density or microvibrations, could trained echolocators one day sense the mood in a room the way we hear tone of voice? And what about art? Musicians and sound artists are already experimenting with spatial acoustic design, where sound is used to sculpt physical experience. Imagine a concert that is not just heard, but felt as architecture. Walls of bass, tunnels of treble, staircases of melody. Echolocation-trained individuals could walk these sonic structures in real time, navigating sound as space. There's also a philosophical angle. If perception defines reality, and if echolocation gives us access to a layer of space that was previously invisible, then reality itself expands with each sense we add. We're not just enhancing biology, we're expanding ontology, the nature of being. And here's where it gets deeply personal. People who learn echolocation often report not just better navigation, but a deeper sense of presence. They become more attuned to their environment, more aware of space, more grounded in the now. One user described it as becoming aware of the silence between sounds and realizing that space is never empty, it's alive. That's not just biology. That's evolution, lived, trained, and chosen. Echolocation isn't a trick, it's a doorway. And on the other side, a world you never knew you could see. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones, the replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans, the merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.